welcome into another edition of Hog Heaven. Hi, I'm your host, Tim Costello, joined with my producer extraordinaire, Zach Lee. We've got a fantastic edition of the show coming up for you here today. Our first guest, Mike Martin, is with Golden Glove Charities, and just a great guy, does a lot of great things for kids, not just in DFW. He works all over the country. Just a great guy, doing a lot of great things for a lot of kids. And then we had a chance to sit and talk with our general manager, Nate Gutierrez, as the Airhogs this week opened ticket sales to Team USA Softball Revenge Tour. They're getting ready to head on the road to get ready for the 2020 Olympics, and we are fortunate enough here in Grand Prairie to have Team USA stopping in for at least 5, maybe 6 games here in Grand Prairie in April. So we had a chance to talk with Nate Gutierrez about the Team USA softball event. And again, Mike Martin from Golden Glove Charities was our first segment on the show. So again, please enjoy Hog Heaven. Welcome into another episode of Hog Heaven. Tim Costello joined with Mike Martin of Golden Glove Charities. And we were just so excited to be able to join you guys this year, doing just such a cool thing that you guys do. Talk a little bit about what Golden Glove Charities is, how you got started, and then we'll kind of get into where the Airhogs fit in. But talk a little bit about yourself, Mike, and how you got started in this.
Awesome. We're extremely excited. We really like it when teams reach out to us. Because then we know they're really interested in doing it the right way for the kids. I started Golden Glove Charities, really kind of a crazy story. I run a Parks and Recreation, that's my job. And it's a small little town in Kansas. And I wanted to teach our kids who are a lower middle class community, I want to teach them about just because you don't have a lot doesn't mean that you have to always be receiving, that you can give. So we started a thing called Gold Glove Week during our baseball season. We did a week long's worth of fundraising events. We painted our bases gold. The umpires we ordered in special gold colored, which is a pediatric color ribbon, for the umpires to wear umpire uniforms. And we brought Frank White in. Of course, everybody's familiar with him up in Kansas City, having won 8 gold gloves with the Royals. And he came down to a charity autograph signing, and we charged for it. And we donated all that money to Children's Mercy Hospital, Ronald McDonald House up in Kansas City. And it raised $5,500 and was just a tremendous event. So the next year we did it again, had Willie Wilson come in, who had won a gold glove with Kansas City. And after that, I was just talking with a friend of mine and just said, hey, you need to do something bigger. I mean, just a week isn't good enough, because they knew how much I enjoyed it, doing it. So just after some brainstorming that September, after baseball season and everything, I just started Golden Glove Charities. And it's where we work with the cancer population, pediatric cancer population. So that's kind of how it started. And then one of our big initiatives is that we go to these minor league parks, independent parks, and we honor local kids who are battling cancer. We do game jerseys that the players will wear with the kid's first name on the back. The kids get their own jersey. We do a tailgate beforehand, a meet and greet with them. We try to line them up one-on-one if we can get enough kids. Like in Chicago, we had 28 kids that were battling cancer. The impact is tremendous in the stadium when the fans look down and go, look at all these kids who are battling cancer from our community. And so that's kind of where that all started. It's an awareness piece about pediatric cancer. And then the Airhogs, I mean, they called me in the off season. They had met with, Nate had met with Josh over at Cleburne, and with Sean Hunter, the owner up in Chicago, where we run nights. And they was like, you really need to get hold of Mike and look at trying to do this. And so they contacted me, and so here we are today.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't be more happy to be doing this kind of thing. This is why we get into professional baseball, to do these kind of things for people. And when you look at some of the pictures on your website, some of the brochures, you can tell the players get a lot out of this too. You know, it's an opportunity for them who they like to give back. It's unfortunately with the schedule we have during the season, they have very limited time. But when you can bring someone out to the stadium and they get a chance to meet them, to interact, to be a part of their lives, it really is a mutually beneficial relationship for that kid and that player who a lot of times they do continue to talk to each other after that game, after that season.
Absolutely, and that's the part that I didn't even realize would happen, right, when we started doing this. We still have players today that from 4 years ago, Eddie Medina is an example I always use. He was with the Wichita Wingnuts. He got traded after one of our nights. He'd gotten traded that year up to St. Paul. When he was coming back from St. Paul for games in Wichita, he was still contacting Jocelyn's family. I'd see their Facebook picture of them out on the field when he was back in town in another uniform. Those relationships happen all the time. You know, it's not just one or two incidents. You can see by a lot of the pictures that we're starting to post now from our recent events. There's a picture on our prospectus. We have a prospectus for our Gold Glove Night where Janista is a player over in Mississippi. And the kid who's just met him, and he's probably about a 13-year-old kid, Jake, has his Mississippi hat braids on backwards, has his jersey on, Janista's wearing his, and Jake's like got his arm around him, and they're hugging. With these big smiles. And I'm like, wow, that right there that picture symbolizes everything that we're trying to do. And the impact that we always thought was down to the kid is widespread, much greater than we ever anticipated, and it's really rewarding to be able to see that.
One of the things, too, is you guys have grown. It hasn't been just in the sport of baseball. You've kind of started to branch out into some of the other sports, not only in your area, but across the country. How did that happen? How did, Gold Glove baseball, obviously, there's a alignment, but how did you guys start to creep into some of those other extracurricular sporting events?
Yeah, we've done a hockey event. We've done some different things with basketball. I'm an old college basketball coach, so I coached college basketball for 11 years right after I got done playing in school, in college. So I've got a lot of contacts. Scott Drew down at Baylor is a really, really good friend of mine. Brad Underwood at Illinois. So we're able to do some things with some colleges with experiences for kids. We've done some hockey. We're looking to expand some more. And it's just a matter of literally taking them our blueprint, our model that we have now with the examples. And at first, I was joking with Nate. I said we were borrowing, and stealing, basically, to try to get people to let us in and come do this. We had this kind of idea. Now that it's happened for 3-4 years, and we've kind of got it now to a model where we love it. It's pretty easy. It speaks for itself now. People have contacted us. Biloxi, Mississippi called me this year. Birmingham called me this year. And it's because of these GMs and owners who are a part of this night are speaking for us. And that's the best advertising, right, is the word of mouth. But it's the same thing with that. So in the off season, we don't have baseball in the winter, right? Sure. So we're looking at other sports to be able to go do that too. And I'm hoping eventually. It's so hard because I work. I don't work for the charity. It's all volunteer, and so I'm hoping eventually I can get to that stage where I can just work for the charity, and then I know what we can blow up into all of the sports. Then when I can dedicate 80 to 100 hours a week.
Absolutely. When you talk about those volunteer hours, how do you find those people? Because obviously this is something that's very important to you. It's near and dear to your heart. You obviously want to give all your time, but for someone who may not know what's going on, they think it's kind of cool, I'd like to get involved with that. How does that process start? How do you get that ball rolling downhill and get more and more people to join into this movement?
The biggest thing is they have to experience it. Everybody's wanting volunteers for stuff. And if they don't have a passion, or if they don't know that that's their passion is pediatric cancer and these kids and these families, they don't know what our event really. I can explain to them what it's like, but I told the story just next door with Nate. I had a friend of mine that runs an insurance agency. He's always helped us financially, but he had never come to our event. He's always busy doing things. And finally one year I just kind of cornered him. I said, man, you've got to come. You need to get the experience because I want you to understand. I brought two of the kids up to the suite to meet him. And he cornered me that night and he said, come see me Monday. And he told me, I'm all in. I am in. This is amazing. And just because he got a relationship with those kids and got to speak with them. So when people see our event and they get to feel it, because there's a feel to it, then they come and want to volunteer. Hey, you need help with your event. Do you need help with other events around here? We'd really like to be a part of that. And that's kind of how it happens. Anybody that's interested in helping, we can always use help. We can use bodies. I've run some of these events at these parks, and it's just me. literally with my team, because we're traveling all over, and my volunteers can't always travel to Chicago or Fargo or wherever. So it's myself. Sometimes my kids try to help me, and when you have 6, 8, and 12-year-olds, sometimes that's addition by or subtraction by addition. Having them to help, but it's a wonderful experience for them. But yeah, if anybody ever wants to help, all they got to do is just contact me. We'd love to have bodies there.
So you mentioned when you go to some of these sites, you need some people. You're going to have possibly 3 Gold Glove nights within the DFW area with ourselves, Cleburne, and Frisco as well. If someone wanted to help you in the DFW Metroplex, they want to be some of the people you can rely on here, what's the best way to get in touch with you to let you know, hey, I'm here for you in DFW when you guys come down here this year?
Yeah, I'm an extremely open book. We don't staff stuff with other people and have to go through 3 channels to get to me. They can email me directly at mike@goldglovekc.org. They can call me at 816-260-0016. They can go to our website and there's contact info there. I'm an old school guy. Call me. I'd much rather have that than trying to do all of the other venues. We do a lot of Facebook stuff, obviously. We have a website, and I was a big website guy, right? Being a college coach, put all your stuff on. Well, I found now that it's easier to send one thing out to 1,000 people on Facebook than it is to try to get 1,000 people to come to your site.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah.
I've kind of put the website stuff to bed. I still update it, and it's not near as comprehensive as the Facebook page, but we still keep it because I am a website. I think they look cool, and we do an e-commerce deal there as well, where people can buy tickets to events and different things like that. So just contact me. Get to the website. Call you guys. Call the Kansas City T-Bones. You know how to get a hold of me. Any of those that we work with, but just call me directly.
Yeah, fantastic. And you can reach out to the Airhogs as well. We'd love to put anyone in touch who wants to come and be a part of this great event. A couple more questions for you before you get out of here. And I know you got a long either drive or flight back to Kansas City at some point. But for the parents out there who, God forbid their kid is one of the children who is in this situation, who's getting that kind of treatment, how do they get their kid out here to the game? How do they let you know that I would love for my child to be one of the kids that are out there being honored who have pediatric cancer?
Absolutely. Same thing. Just contact me. Yep, absolutely. We get a lot of referrals. We get a lot of people who, kids that we've worked with that we've honored before that, that it's kind of like a fraternity. Those families that their child's going through cancer, there's a pretty tight-knit group that they rely on as resources and support. And they get new families all the time, right? Well, they'll refer them to me and say, hey, this family's from, here, would they be able to be involved in your event? It's absolutely. So some of the places, a few of the places we do have, like here, we're probably potentially going to partner with a local hospital. So we have to draw from their kids that they've treated.
Sure.
So we have a few of those stipulations, but other places it's pretty wide open, and we're finding kids from different campsites, that have camps for these kinds of kids. We offer that up to their kids, and that's how we'll fill that. So yeah, just contact me. We can usually, accommodate everybody.
Fantastic. We'll get you out of here on this one. You mentioned you work for the Parks and Recreation Department. I myself, a big fan of Parks and Rec, the TV show. Have you ever tuned in? Do you have a favorite character? Is that accurate at all as a representation of Parks and Rec?
I've been told it is. I have not watched it. I worked with another guy named Dustin Kerr, who's now a director over in eastern Missouri. He said it's extremely accurate, especially when it came to like our boss. So I don't know what that meant because I really have not watched the show. But I will just say this: I don't need to watch a show on because I live it. My situation now is wonderful because it's good and bad, right? I'm a one-man band. I run it all. There are times when my summer kids go home, I'm mowing, spraying, weed eating, lining fields, and then doing my Parks and Rec job. So I'll run 70 hours a week. So our department, I hope, isn't anything reflective of what I've kind of heard about Parks and Rec because it's just me. So I guess that would be a reflection on me. But from what I understand, it's pretty accurate.
All righty. Well, there we go, Mike. We appreciate you coming in. We really look forward to when you guys are going to come back here during our season for what should be one of the most fun nights of the entire 2020 calendar. Remember, check out online if you want to be a part of it. Reach out to Mike. Reach out to us. We'd love to put you guys together to volunteer again for what should be, in my opinion, one of the best nights on our 2020 schedule. Mike, we appreciate you coming in.
Yep, Tim, thank you.
Coming all the way down from Kansas City. You're not affected by this Texas cold, obviously. You're a little bit more familiar with that northern cold, so we hope you can still enjoy it.
Well, it's wonderful to come this direction, and this is silly, but I get to get my Whataburger fix.
There you go.
So yeah, no in and out Whataburger here.
Awesome. Hey, we'll be right back with you on Hog Heaven after this.
Instead of going to school every morning, what if school could come to you? Because learning happens anywhere and everywhere. K-12 powered schools provide a tuition-free, full-time, online public school education. It's public school at home. K-12's curriculum is designed to engage students, to challenge them. So visit k12.com today. Tuition-free in Texas.
Attention Airhogs fans, have you still not gotten your 2020 season pass? Well, why not? For only $150, you get in the gate for all 50 home games, including playoffs. That's just $3 a game. It's affordable fun the whole family can enjoy. For more information on season passes or booking your next group outing, contact Zach or Kelsey at zlee@texasairhogs.com or karmond@texasairhogs.com. We look forward to seeing you in 2020.
Hey, welcome back in here on Hog Heaven. Tim Costello joined once again with the general manager of your Texas Airhogs, Nate Gutierrez. Nate, welcome back on here on the program.
Tim, always a pleasure.
You know, the reason we're having you on today, the Airhogs are doing something really special here in 2020. They've actually formed a partnership with Team USA's softball team, and they're going to be playing, it's 5 games here over 3 days in late April as they prepare for the Olympics. Talk a little bit about that, Nate, because that's really exciting for anyone here in the DFW area.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. I mean, we're always trying to find unique events outside of baseball to host here at the stadium. This one kind of came about through some connections with the team, directly and indirectly. But ultimately, yeah, Team USA Softball is going on I'm not sure the exact number, more or less 25 city tour to do a little promotion of the upcoming Olympics, a little promotion for their team, kind of build up a little buzz as they head over to Tokyo. And they really wanted Dallas to be a stop. And after some kind of, negotiations and back and forth, we finally nailed it down that they're going to play at Airhogs Stadium, which is really exciting for us. To host athletes of that, quality is always cool, and Team USA is a really cool opportunity to host. And I think it's going to be fun for the fans of the area to come out and see the best women in the world truly play softball. They're on a revenge tour to Japan, I think. They really want to get their gold medal back in Japan, and they're using these stops as a tune-up, and I think they're important. They're playing some college teams, but they're going to be essential in the development of them going into Tokyo. So I think we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be a really good event. We encourage everybody to come out and see not only what we can provide from a operational standpoint from the Airhogs and the venue, but also support your country, support the team and whatnot. So
you mentioned a revenge tour. For those people who aren't really familiar with international softball, at the same time baseball was taken out of the Olympics, so was softball. So it's been, I think, 12 years now since Olympic softball was played. So when that sport was taken away, the USA lost that gold medal game. They've been sitting for 12 years really, frustrated. With baseball, at least, you had the World Baseball Classic, which was every 3 or 4 years, a chance to play on the international level. You don't quite have that same thing in softball, so they haven't had the chance to revenge that loss. And so it's really cool they're doing this tour to get ready to go to Japan and kick some butt, hopefully.
Yeah, and I think what kind of drives that point home is the names that you see kind of coming out of the woodwork to return back to the prominence. I think the 2 main ones are Kat Osterman and Monica Abbott, 2 big-time pitchers who I know Kat especially has been retired, a couple of years now. She's been out of the professional women's league, but the opportunity that she got to come back and try to redeem themselves against Japan, which I think is a unique element in itself. Not only do they have to go back and beat Japan 12 years later, they have to go into their house and take care of business. But Kat coming back, she wants that gold. They were silver medalists. There's some of them that don't have gold medals, which is kind of weird to think about from a Team USA standpoint. At some point in most team sports, we find our way into a gold medal. But softball, we've been off the gold medal spot for 12 years, and they're ready to go. So I think it's interesting, and there's a lot of good players coming back to kind of redeem themselves. So I think it's cool.
When you kind of look at a parallel, and we'll look at USA basketball as an example. 2 different times I feel like Team USA went to the Olympics with the idea of revenge. The first one was that first dream team in '92, and that thing was ridiculous when you looked at the poundings that Team USA gave some of those other foreign teams. And then you look at in the mid 2000s, I believe it was 2004, was the first time Team USA didn't even medal in the Olympics beforehand. And then all of a sudden you had LeBron, you had Bosch, you had Paul, you had Anthony, all these stars coming together because they realized it was unacceptable to win anything less than gold. It seems really similar to what's happening here in softball. The stars are coming together, and they're not going home with anything less than gold, hopefully.
And I think, yeah, that's the message that they've put forward from a team standpoint, and obviously as fans and event hosts, we wish them nothing more than that, to use these opportunities and use the 3 days that they're here. They're here in Grand Prairie longer than any stop on the tour. So I think it's an opportunity for them to catch up on some rest, but also, you know, work on their skills and make sure that they're as good as they can possibly be going into Japan. So
let's talk a little bit about your side of things here, because a lot of people don't realize when a softball team comes to town, there's some changes that have to be made. Yes, there's a lot of fundamental similarities between the two sports, but first and foremost, most baseball fences are considerably deeper than a softball fence, so that's something that we're going to have to think about. And then number two, the mound. The baseball mound is a lot more elevated than a softball mound. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, the Airhogs are a month before their season, and you're technically making structural changes to the stadium at that point.
yeah, and I think the third element that plays right along with those is the bases.
Sure.
So yes, the field is constructed very similar, except miniature. We got to bring the fence in, we got to bring the mound in, we got to bring the bases in. The first thing is the fence, naturally. You got to have a barrier to stop the ball. They cannot play on a minor league professional baseball size field. So that's obstacle number one. Get a temporary fence, 200 feet to down the line, I think 220 to center. It's considerably smaller than what we are. Put them down. And then the interesting thing about it is, from a bases and mound perspective, is that we have turf here. So it's even another obstacle. In a typical grass situation, you can cut directly into the earth, place the cement that you need to put in a new base foundation and such. Here, we have to do something similar, unfortunately. We have to cut the turf, pull up some of this, what's underneath, place the cement block, go back over it with the turf, and then ultimately we're going to get a stopper that goes in and has a little turf piece on top to fill that gap in. So that's how we're going to do the bases. We're going to move the bases straight down the lines to 60 feet, and then it's kind of behind the pitcher's mound for second base. From the mound perspective, they do play from a flat mound, significantly shorter. I think it's 46 feet that they pitch from plate to mound, or you know what I mean, plate to the pitcher's mound, 46 feet. It's right around the base of where our mound kind of flattens out anyways. So ultimately, they're going to throw from a flat ground at the bottom of the mound, and they're actually willing to play with the mound in place for these 5 exhibition games. I think exhibition is the kind of reasoning behind that. Had these been official league games and or Olympic qualifier or something, we would have had to take the mound out. And the fact that this is mostly a promotions tour, this is mostly a tune-up situation that they haven't required us to do that. So it'll be fun. I think it's going to be some minor field alterations, like you said, leading up to the season, but it'll be worth it for this kind of event.
One of the coolest things, about this too, is if you're a Little League baseball player, you can go watch the Rangers, you can watch the Airhogs, you can watch the Frisco Rough Riders. That's 3 different baseball teams that play at a professional level in this area. If you are a young girl who plays softball, while there is a softball league here in America, there's not a Dallas team. And you know, this is the first time for some of these girls to have this opportunity to see pros play the game that they play. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so important for the young girls that are out there. If you're a coach, if you're a parent, team mom of one of these Little League teams, and you're interested in bringing your daughters out to watch one of these softball games, Nate, what's the best way to get that done? Yeah,
so, well, you're going to need a ticket, first thing, obviously. So you're going to need a ticket. Tickets are on sale right now online. You can go to roadtogoldsoftball.com. It's also on our Facebook. It's also on our Facebook site where you can see the link and stuff. Please go on there online, purchase your tickets. If you have questions about group information and or suite information, you can email Alexis Elizondo at aelizondo@texasairhogs.com. We'll make sure that we get that information out there. Her name's kind of affiliated with a lot of the posts that we've posted on our Facebook to find her. But kind of getting back to your point about softball girls not having the opportunity to kind of see what I would figure the role models. And, you know, I know how much it meant to us to see some of our favorite players play, and we even, you know, start wearing the same gear as them, start wearing your pants like them, really wanting to associate yourself with what they're doing. And I think it's important to note that they haven't had that opportunity in a lot of regards to do that other than on TV. And I know some people have had the opportunity to drive up to Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series, but outside of that, there's very few opportunities. And that's why I think it's really important that we host this event here in the area and kind of drive home the point that these girls, and I think to that point, they want to give back to the next generation of softball players as they were given to, and I think they're going to be pretty accessible, and I think it'd be cool to see. Also, I think it's interesting to note too that baseball players too should come out and see what kind of. I mean, these are the best in the world doing appreciation of what they do. And I think I say that because I remember growing up watching Kat Osterman play at Texas, and even as a softball player, she really grew my interest in bat ball sport just because of how dominant she was. You could see how much work she put into her craft and how much passion she played with after a big strikeout. It's the same emotions that you see out here on the field, and it's any kind of bat to ball sport promotion for me is always cool, and she was a big part of my love for the game overall. So I think it goes both ways. I think guys, the young baseball players should kind of come see what it's like to really see women perform at this high of a level. And I think from a youth girl perspective, these are the role models that our country has to offer from a softball perspective, and I think it's going to be cool.
You mentioned some big names at the beginning there. Of course, Kat Osterman. The one I always remembered watching was Monica Abbott, the lefty out of Tennessee, who
she'll be there.
She was filthy. I mean, the only word that you can use to describe the way that young lady pitched in college was filthy.
She's throwing 70 miles an hour underhand. I mean, from 46 feet, 70 miles an hour.
With crazy movement too.
I would be interested to see some of our players line up against Monica Abbott. I think they don't want it to be too much of that spectacle that it could be, but I think it'd be cool because these women are really, really good. And I think it's almost underappreciated how good and how much time they've put into doing this and representing our country. And they have a big task ahead of them going to Japan trying to get a gold medal, and hopefully we can help support that.
I think one of the cool things about the way this Team USA Tour is working is that they're picking minor league stadiums for the most part. And what's great about that, especially here at Airhogs Stadium, we are so accessible for the fan to the player. That's just part of baseball in general, right? When I was a kid, I was there an hour, 2 hours early trying to get autographs during BP. I know you were the same way. But when you come to an Airhogs game and you get here an hour early and you try to get an autograph, you're 5 feet from these players sometimes. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that autograph based on just the type of player that we typically have in the stadium who understands that. Now, you take that into the softball scenario with these young girls. You mentioned that these Team USA players want to be part of this community, and now you've got a great stadium to facilitate that, where these kids can actually meet and shake hands and get an autograph with some of the best that have ever done it.
Yeah, and I think I was just looking at the map of kind of what tickets are available right now, and to see there's still some right by the dugout, right on top of the dugout, all around these players. And I was just thinking in my head, imagine if those were my icons. I mean, the A-Rods, the King Griffeys, being 10, 15 feet away from the players that have that much statue in the game that I love. Would be an opportunity unlike none before. And I think from a softball perspective, these are the King Griffeys and the A-Rods and the Mike Trouts. I mean, Monica Abbott and Kat, that's what they are to softball. And to have the opportunity to be that close to them and to witness, I mean, not just in the dugout, but on the field. The seats are also ridiculously accessible to the field, and there's not a bad side in the house. I think it's going to be a great viewing experience to see, one, how good they are, but two, just to be kind of, being the witness of the Team USA, potentially a gold medal Team USA, a few months before they actually go on and do it. So
this is a question I'm really not sure of the answer here, Nate, and we'll probably get you out of here on this one. One of the great things about coming to an Airhog game as a fan, as a kid, you got a pretty strong chance of going home with a foul ball. We have a lot of foul ball accessibility. I'm not quite sure of the rules with softball. Do those foul balls stay with the fans, or in softball do you have to give them back out onto the field?
That's a good question. I haven't worked through all the logistics.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that
they haven't sent you the ball budget yet, have they?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna guess that we'll probably have to return them, just based on the amount. The thing about baseballs is we buy them by the dozens and dozens and dozens, and they come in a big crate that it feels like there's endless amounts. So giving a ball away here and there doesn't feel as much a crime. Where I think in softball, I'd imagine they're gonna come with maybe a set of 40 balls total for the whole trip. That. It's just they don't go. I feel like they don't exactly leave the playing field as often to begin with, and when they do, they probably mostly play in venues where they go and retrieve them. So I can't give you a final answer. Hopefully that they can let them stay, and if not, maybe you can swap it for an autograph or something.
So we go. Maybe bring your own softball with you if you're going to be
Trade it
autograph
out.
hunting. But again, we are really looking forward to having everybody out. Again, Nate, those dates, it's going to be in April.
Yep, April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. They're going to start at 6 o'clock, doubleheaders. For the first two, still not confirmed on the third day, but it's looking like it might be a doubleheader as well. So 6 o'clock start, the gates will open at 5. It'll be a 30-minute interchange in between the first and second game. Tickets are available now. You can find them via our Facebook, via roadtogoldsoftball.com. If you really can't figure it out, feel free to call the Airhogs main number here at the stadium, and we'll be happy to help.
Nate, we appreciate you coming on and joining us. Again, we are all looking forward so much to that softball event here in April. It's going to be not only great for the team, I think great for all the young ladies in the area who are big softball fans. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our young female athletes here in DFW. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with you on Hog Heaven after this.
Instead of going to school every morning, what if school could come to you? Because learning happens anywhere and everywhere. K-12 powered schools provide a tuition-free, full-time online public school education. It's public school at home. K-12's curriculum is designed to engage students, to challenge them. So visit K12.com today. Tuition-free in Texas.
Attention Airhogs fans, have you still not gotten your 2020 season pass? Well, why not? For only $150, you get in the gate for all 50 home games, including playoffs. That's just $3 a game. It's affordable fun the whole family can enjoy. For more information on season passes or booking your next group outing, contact Zach or Kelsey at zlee@texasairhogs.com or karmond@texasairhogs.com. We look forward to seeing you in 2020.
Hey, welcome back in. What a great episode of Hog Heaven this was. First and foremost, thank you to both Mike Martin and Nate Gutierrez for taking the time out of their schedule to sit down and talk with us. And again, what a great organization Mike Martin has with Golden Glove Charities. This thing is taken off. It's not just in his home city in Kansas City. We're not the only team doing it with them. This is pretty much every team in the league now at this point is buying into what Mike is doing. And it's not just in baseball, as you heard him mention, hockey, basketball, college sports. This thing is taking off, and as it should, because one of the worst things in the world, I think, is when our children get sick. And Mike does something so great to give them the opportunity to have some happiness and to have something to look forward to during those tough times. And we are just beyond fortunate and beyond blessed to be able to do something with him this season in 2020. And the Airhogs are really looking forward to our night with Gold Glove Charities. And then, of course, we had a chance to talk with Nate Gutierrez, again, the general manager of the Texas Airhogs here. We're hosting something very, very special. You know, USA softball hasn't had a chance to compete in the Olympics since 2008. And they got a chance to try and go win gold this year. They're taking it real seriously, a 25-city tour as they get ready to try and go back in and take what is rightfully theirs, and that's the USA gold medal in softball. Again, if you are interested in coming out to Airhog Stadium, it is roadtogoldsoftball.com. If you're interested in tickets or if you just want more information, reach out to the Airhogs. Ask for Alexis Elizondo. She's our softball extraordinaire. She's going to get you all taken care of. But all in all, this should be a phenomenal event. And even more importantly, it's an opportunity for our young female athletes here in the DFW area to watch their role models play up close and personal for what could be the first time for some of these young women. So be sure to check it out. Come on and join us here at the Airhog Stadium for the Road to Gold. Team USA softball getting ready for those Tokyo Olympics. That's going to do it for us here on Hog Heaven this week. Again, I appreciate both Mike Martin and Nate Gutierrez for joining us. We will see you